Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakakbadash. And I want to say Shalom to Yakim Akwat out there, doing this true diligently, coming at you once again with another lesson. And this is inspired by the apostle, one of the apostles of Great Millstone, Apostle Tahar. And his channel is What is the 666 Mark II GMS Truth? All right. And he put out this video today titled "Give Me Your Feedback," and of course it has these wackos, all right, of the IUIC. Again, with the the unlearned doctrines that are going out. And I saw it, watched a little bit of it. Probably up to like the halfway mark. When he said, "Give me your feedback," so through the Spirit. I did a little digging, a little looking for this genealogy chart here, and then of course through the brothers' comments, I said I'll put a little lesson together on it. Right now, I'm not in GMS, but that's who I learned from, so I recommend you do the same. They're the ones that got the truth, because it for damn sure ain't the IUIC. Right. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the apostle speak in his video. I'm gonna actually go ahead, and this just turned down, so it's a perfect time for me to pause it, and I'm gonna go ahead and just play the video. All right, you'll see what they say, you'll see what the apostle has to say, and we'll go and get into the lesson on it. Right, got a couple scriptures here for it.
All right. So why are there no
Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shem Yahshai, Shem Hakwadash, Shalom to the 144,000, rest of the elect out there, Shalom to you all. Anyway, this is going out to y'all. What's your take on this right here, what you're getting ready to hear? This is IUIC Oklahoma Q&A with the captains. So I'm just going to let it play from right here. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to add to it. I'm just throwing out there for y'all. What your feedback? What's your feedback on this?
T2s? I'm guessing that means Titus 2s on YouTube. The next question.
I'm not talking about this.
Because some stuff is in-house.
The next question I'm dealing with. The next two questions, next question.
Explaining everything to everybody. They can watch and learn online from the brothers. But once they're in the body, then they'll be into that. Yeah. Last one there. If the children born of a mixed union are...
Here we are.
The children... Go to Exodus 10, Ezra 10 and 3. Go ahead, y'all answer that.
It says, if the children born of a mixed union are what the father is, why put away the children? Get that, Ezra 10?
So what's being asked is, if in that, marital union, all right, the father, all right, of those kids, okay, so in this case it would be an Israelite father, has those kids, all right, but they were made unto a heathen woman, why would those children be put away? They wouldn't be. They wouldn't be put away. Okay, that's unlearned. They wouldn't be put away. But that's what they're going in, right? Why would why put away those children? You wouldn't.
And 3.
Ezra chapter.
What do you put away? You have a woman from another nation. You have a child. Do you put that child away along with the woman? Do you put that child, which is an Israelite, away along with the woman? Give me your feedback.
10 and verse 3.
Come on!
Now, therefore, let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives, and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our God, and let it be done according to the law.
Why? Because it was a sin to marry wives of the other nation. Now, why
Not always.
the children went, get Nehemiah 13. This is why.
One thing, this is a theatrics camp, all right? This is the theatrics camp. IUIC is a theatrics camp. You hear them reading just like there's an old let me see if I can find it. All right. Mormon reenactment play. They have I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, the Hill Qumran pageant, right? And I'm mentioning this for a very specific reason, because my dad ended up getting with a woman. All right, well, my dad was actually baptized Mormon, all right, because one of his grandmothers, but he was never involved in any of it, right? But he ended up marrying an Edomite woman. After my mother, they divorced and married another Edomite woman, and she's very Mormon. All right, very Mormon. Not very Mormon, Jack Mormon, but yeah. Anyway, you know what that is? It's like a Mormon that's not all the way in, right? So they started getting into it, went into temple and did all this stuff. So my dad's all involved in that now. Now, before I came to the truth, this has been 10, 11 years ago, right? 10, 11 years ago. I've only been in the truth for around 6, right? But 10, 11 years ago, one of the things that Mormons often go to, all right, is the Hill Qumran pageant, okay? And it's a theatrical production that was produced annually by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint. I'll just pronounce their thing, the Mormons. All right, staged at the foot of Hill Qumran, and this is not the one. This is not the one, but it's a they do it in they do one in Utah. All right, they do one in Utah. You can see right here. This is what it looks like. Okay, and you're probably asking, it looks just like this. Okay, and you're probably asking, well, why? And they also do one in Utah. I don't know if it's not necessarily just in Utah. All right. But let me see. It's a pageant. Yeah, I guess there are like several different, they call them pageants. There's several different ones. But anyway, when they do these, all right, now I mentioned this for a reason, I'm kind of rambly, but when they do these, they have these speakers, okay, and the way that they speak, all right, is almost 1-to-1 with how this guy, we're at 2 minutes, let me go back.
Now, done according to the and of those that tremble at the commandment of our God.
The way that they speak at those through the microphone sounds almost 100%, right? And Jesus came down, and he looked at him and said, "What do you?" That's and that's what just reminded me of. It reminded me of, and Mormons are a form of Christian. It reminded me of Christian madness. Like the exact same intonation, the exact same, what's the word? The exact same, like, rhythm and beat to the voice, right? That's just something that stuck out to me. All right, that's just something that stuck out to me. Like when they make those big, or if you've been, I've been to other ones. I've mostly been to Mormon ones because that's when I was down there staying with them. That's what they went to. There's other things. They had Christmas shows and stuff. And on the loudspeaker, it's always, and Jesus said to the so and so that they have a bunch of weird names for the Nemamites or whatever. All these different like all these Mormon things that are just like weird different names that aren't really in the Bible, and it just reminded me of that. So I had to say that just reminded me of that. So that's one thing that I thought was weird. All right, in the camp of theatrics, but I don't know if you've ever been in any of those Christian plays. Let me know if that sounded if you've heard that same type of voice. I don't know. It's like you don't hear the apostles or the elders or the brothers. Anybody, you don't hear me talking like that. You're not going to hear me saying, and Titus 1:10, it reads. You're never going to hear me talk like that, Lord willing. All right, that to me is just a theatric way of speaking. All right, it's not a normal tone of voice. Okay, a normal cadence. That's the word I was looking for. Cadence. It's like a Christian theatrics cadence. Okay.
And let it be done according to the law.
Why? Because it was a sin to marry wives of the other nation. Now, while the children went, get Nehemiah 13. This is why.
Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 23. Let's go. And those.
Remember, keep in mind, Moses' sons were half heathen, so he put them away.
Those days also, I saw Jews that had married wives of Ashdod and of Ammon. And of Moab.
That was the same thing during the time of Nehemiah was happening. It was happening during the time of Ezra. They seen Jews marrying wives of the other nation. Read on.
And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language.
They spake half in the speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language. They were unclean. Because think about it, who raises the children?
I guess they wasn't Hebrew Israelites then, because they couldn't speak Hebrew.
The mother.
Right? What's that? What's that all about?
That's why Ezra said, listen, put them away, get rid of them. They just came out of captivity. They was dedicating the temple back to the Lord. They were trying to clean filth.
So do you you have women of the other nations, you have children by them. You're an Israelite. The children are obviously Israelites. Do you put the wife, the woman of another nation away with the children that are Israelites? Keep in mind, Moses had sons with a woman of another nation.
Out of Israel.
So, you want to watch the other 4 minutes? You can go ahead and watch it. While you're over there, I'd highly recommend subscribing to the Apostle as well. Again, his screen name is What is the 666 Mark II GMS Truth. That's Apostle Ahar. All right, the head apostle of Great Millstone. And you see a lot of brothers, all right, elders chiming in, and I like this one a lot. This is GMS Hagnos Anastrophe. It says. He said, so they're promoting broken homes now. That's completely going off, right? And I don't know necessarily what, and the apostle, the elder, Manata Zakba, GMS South Carolina 08, says, making it up as they go, damn unlearned demons. And they are, man, and the closer and closer we get to the end, the IUIC is fucking done, man. They're bugged out. They're done. They're done, okay? They're done. They don't have it, all right? If you can't see that they don't have it, it's, and you got, look, listen to their comment board. Shalom, let's go, Israel, 12 tribes worldwide. And just, 3 comments. You couldn't fit that in one. Okay? So it's and that's what and it's an unmoderated mess over there, right? It's an unmoderated mess. They got super chat going and all these different things. Look, man. It's simple. If you can't teach the Bible, don't try to do it. All right, just wrap it up. It's a wrap. Just close it up. Close up shop. All right, because you guys are making fools out of yourself. Okay, you're making fools out of yourself. Now I got a couple things here. And the apostle mentioned something, with Moses. All right, and his children. Well, not Moses and his, but Moses' children. All right, that's true. But what you see a lot mentioned here is that would mean Obed, the grandfather of King David, should have been put away because his mother was a Moabite named Ruth. And then he got the scripture. We got that. All right, so that's what we're going to be dealing with today. I believe I got. Well, I didn't get it, but I'll read it here. I'll read it in the next one. I'll read this one. Well, I'll read down, and then actually, you know what? Best way to do it is just to do it like this. Let's see, because we got 13, 14, and then 17. So I'll do from 13. So I get all the brothers' comments. So 13 through 17. Okay, and you see brothers talking about it. GMS Spirit of Prophecy 144 says, if you had to put away all the Israelite children born of the heathen women, there would be no King David. It's true. Absolutely. So this is the scriptures that the brothers were getting in between as well. So Ruth 4 and 13 through 17. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. Okay, and when he went in unto her, putting his penis inside of her, we got to go back to sex ed. Okay, the Lord gave her conception. That means she was made pregnant, right? And she bare a son. There you go. And the woman said unto Naomi, blessed be the Lord, which hath not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. And he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thine old age, for thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, hath borne him. And Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom, all right, that's between, in her breasts, and became nurse unto it, breastfed, right? It said, and the woman, her neighbors, gave it a name, saying, there is a son born to Naomi, and they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. David who? The king. David the king. King David. Okay? So, if I go over here, you see Jacob, all right, had Judah. Judah had Perez. Perez has Hezron. All right. And then Ram and Aminadab and Nahshon and Salmon and Rahab. And then Boaz through Ruth. the Moabite, it even says it plain right there, Ruth the Moabite had Obed, biological son of Boaz, all right, who had Jesse, okay, who had David, who the line of kings of Israel and the line of the Messiah came through. So not only would you not have King David, you don't want Yahawashi then. Yahawashi should have been put away, right? David should have been put away, right? And Jesse should have been put away. Why? Well, they were all not of well, you know, going back to their grandmother, their great grandmother. All right, they would have their heathen seed. Got to put them away. All right, and the woman, but Ruth should have been put away, and all the children that came through her, which would have been, you know, Obed, which Obed begat Jesse, so he would have been put away, and they would have been put away. David would have been put away, and same with that line. Then ultimately, Yahawashi, or as you would say, Christ, all right, in your ignorance, all right, would be put away. So you want Yahawashi to be put away. I might just put that as the title. Title is that the IUIC really wanted Yahawashi to be put away. All right, that and that's really what it is. And you say, well, that's facetious, and it's semi. But is that what you're saying would have directly led to that? Right? That's what it would have led to that. Okay, dummies, man, you're dummy. You're dumb. You're dumb, dude. It's ridiculous because I'm not even in the truth for that long. All right, 6 years is nothing, and you got Bishop Nate allowing this shit. Even ChatGPT, I said, why was having heathen wives sometimes forbidden? Because sometimes it was. Yes, you see the words and you see the scriptures, but what are the scriptures talking about? It's talking about not falling into their customs. Okay, why was having heathen wives sometimes forbidden in the Bible? It says in the Bible, the issue wasn't race or ethnicity. It was worship and loyalty dealing with the wives. It says over and over, the concern is that marrying women from nations who worshipped other gods would pull Israel into idolatry. Look at all the scriptures. Go and pull them. They're all going to talk about that. In Deuteronomy 7:3-4, Israel's told not to marry certain surrounding nations, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. When Solomon married many foreign wives, 1 Kings 11, says they turned his heart after other gods. And the sin wasn't that he married those women, it was that he went after their gods. All right, it is a risk. You got to be careful with that. Ezra 9 and 10 and Nehemiah 13 show leaders reacting strongly because intermarriage was leading to religious compromise. They're becoming compromised through that. But it wasn't about getting with them. It was about not worshiping what they worship. Right? It says it was about covenant identity. Israel was supposed to be set apart for Yahweh. They say Yahweh. Yahweh. Marrying into cultures devoted to Baal, Molech, Ashtoreth, etc. often meant adopting their rituals, festivals, and sometimes even child sacrifice. And it wasn't a blanket ban on foreigners. There were clear exceptions. Ruth, a Moabite, joins Israel and becomes an ancestor of David. Rahab, and a Canaanite, and is integrated into Israel. Moses marries a Midianite, Zipporah. In those cases, a foreign spouse aligns with Israel's God. It says, so the pattern is consistent. Foreign gods are the problem. Foreign origin alone, not the core issue. It was about a spiritual allegiance and covenantal faithfulness, not skin color. It was never about skin color. It was, but not ethnicity. It wasn't, don't, because they're ethnicity. It was the idol worship that was the problem. All right, and he warned against it and said, don't do it, because a lot of the people that did do it, all right, ended up becoming idol worshipers at their hands. Right. So that's what it was about. But what would you say about Ruth? What with Ruth? No. Ruth should have been put away, and those kids. All right, that would ultimately lead to King David and Yahawashi. So King David and Yahawashi should have been put away, according to the IUIC. Slaki. Did I say ISUPK earlier? IUIC. All right. The IUIC. All right. The Israelites united in confusion. All right.
So they said, listen, put away your wives, and guess what? The kids gonna go with them. Why? Because many of them spoke half in this. They were unclean. They spoke half in the speech of Adonai.
So these children are these children which are Israelites, not the children that these women already had, but these children that were begotten of Israelite men. Were they put out? What's your feedback? What's your feedback? What's your feedback?
You also read that in 1 Corinthians 7. Same thing. Many of y'all go through that as well. But watch this. Read on.
Verse
Now, I don't know what he means by first. I guess he means unbelieving wives.
Yeah, you see it, man. So yeah, they're promoting broken homes. These guys, man. So Isaiah 8:20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. You can go right back and see the line right there. You know, matter of fact, go and do I'll just do it later. But yeah, man, I'm gonna set that as the thumbnail. It's just ridiculous what they're saying. It's ridiculous, man, and you can prove it through here. This is Matthew 1. All right, and we're just gonna we'll get it in the King James version. Okay, or actually, I'll leave it up on the right side, but I'll get it in the NIV because it'll make it a little bit easier with the reading all the way down. But it's the same thing. All right. So we're gonna read down to 16. I mean, you can see it right up at the top. It says the genealogy of Jesus, the Messiah. All right, which of course is Yahawashi, and this is the NIV version. Okay, it's the same thing, but it's gonna make it worded in a way that is easier to understand than the begat Pharez and Zerah of Tamar and Pharez begat. It's gonna make it clear for those that are listening, right? So, verse 1, this is the genealogy of Yahawashi the Messiah, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham was the father of Isaac, Isaac the father of Jacob, Jacob the father of Judah and his brothers, Judah the father of Perez and Zerah, whose mother was Tamar. Perez the father of Hezron, Hezron the father of Ram, Ram the father of Amminadab, Amminadab the father of Nahshon, Nahshon the father of Salmon, Salmon the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab, Boaz the father of Obed, whose mother was Ruth, Obed the father of Jesse, and Jesse the father of King David. So boom, King David would have been cut off. Now through this line, David, this whole line would have been, cut off as well, put aside, all right, because, that one heathen woman just did it to him, right? David was the father of Solomon, whose mother had been Uriah's wife. Solomon, the father of Rehoboam, Rehoboam, the father of Abijah, Abijah, the father of Asa, Asa, the father of Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat, the father of Jehoram, Jehoram, the father of Uzziah, Uzziah, the father of Jotham, Jotham, the father of Ahaz, Ahaz, the father of Hezekiah, Hezekiah, the father of Manasseh, Manasseh, the father of Ammon, Ammon, the father of Josiah, all right, and again, we go and get let me go and get it from where are we at here? Well, can I? Where are we at? Manasseh, so-called Cubans. So, there's another tribe that would have been completely eliminated, I suppose. All right, through this speaking. So Hezekiah, the father of Manasseh, Manasseh, the father of Ammon, Ammon, the father of Josiah, and Josiah, the father of Jeconiah, and his brothers at the time of the exile to Babylon. And here we are. Here's the big one. After the exile to Babylon, Jeconiah was the father of Shealtiel, I'm bad with names. Shealtiel, the father of Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel, the father of Abihud. Abihud, the father of Eliakim. Eliakim, the father of Azor. Azor, the father of Zadok. Zadok, the father of Achim. Achim, the father of Elihud. Elihud, the father of Eleazar. Eleazar, the father of Matan. Matan, the father of Jacob. And Jacob, the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary. And Mary was the mother of Yahawashi, who was called the Messiah. So that whole line, you would have cut off David, Manasseh, would have cut off there's a whole so David, starting here, David, right? Manasseh, all right, a lot, all right, a lot. So and Yahawashi, all would have been cut off. All would have been cut off. All would have been cut off and put away with. All right, and wouldn't have got any of the their blessings. All right, because they would have been put away and counted as heathens. Again, Isaiah 8:20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. It's obvious that the Lord's not dealing with the IUIC. It's obvious. It's obvious, man. Anybody can see it. Anybody can see it. They're not teaching, things. Fuck, let me get my light turned on. They're not teaching, right things. They're teaching wicked, complete, bugged out. I don't even know where the hell they're getting it from, honestly. The devil. Probably putting it in an itinerary for them. All right. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, but if any, and this is a condemnation, all right, if you were to do that. 1 Timothy 5:8, but if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house. You know what that means? That his own house, okay? His own house. His own house, okay? By the house of their father. That really goes back to your tribe. So here it is. You have this son, but too bad it was done by a Moabite woman. Now, it's through the bloodline of your fathers. So that child's an Israelite, but you got to put him away? You got to put away an Israelite? That's stupid, man. It says, especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. There you go, man. That's what's thought of you, okay? And you're teaching people to do that, all right? Matthew 5:19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. And that's how you read a scripture. You don't have to go, and he was over here. You don't have to do that. You can just read it, man. Okay? That's allowed. All right? As a matter of fact, that's preferred. Well, I'm lifting up my voice as a trumpet. You don't have to do that when you're doing a YouTube video. All right, you can turn the mic up as much as you want. All right, when you're out on the streets, yeah, but you don't have to be sitting in your house screaming in a mic. All right, all maxing it out, peaking it, making it red line. For what? Just turn the volume up if you want it to be louder. And it's not that they're lifting up their voice. It's a theatric voice. Anybody can do that. And I went to the store and I looked for the oranges. No, I went to the store and I looked for the oranges. There you go. Just read the scripture normally without putting embellishments on it. Okay? And that's what it is. It's theatric. That's what you're doing. You're doing theatric shit. Okay? Because when you go to theater, they don't come out. And this is Act 2. Here we see Bill walking down the street ready to meet the clown. No, they go, Act 2. Bill walks down the street awaiting the clown. Begin. That's theatric shit, right? You're doing theater, and I know because I worked in a theater for off and on for a little bit. All right, directing and doing the lights and doing the soundboard. I know what it looks like. That's theatric shit. That's theater shit. Stop it. You have to. Everything has to be, bedazzled, right? Apparently, with the IUIC, you got to bedazzle the truth, put little embellishments on it. It's ridiculous, man. Titus 1:11. Whose mouths, actually, we got to go from verse 10. Why are we over here? This is what we need. Titus 1:10 through 11. It says, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, and they ought not teach that, what they're teaching. To put away an Israelite child, that's ridiculous. For filthy lucre's sake. All right, you know what that is? Money. Good News Translation. For there are many, especially Israelites, not converts from Judaism, I'm correcting that part, who rebel and deceive others with their nonsense. And that's what it is. It's fucking nonsense. It is necessary to stop their talk because they are upsetting whole families they're leading whole families astray by teaching what they should not, and all for the shameful purpose of making money. And I've showed you time and time again. You can go and look it up. I'm not going to put it in there because it has, Bishop Nate's government name, and I'm not with that. Even if, I don't particularly like what the guy teaches, I'm not going to drop his government name. All right? So, but you can go and look it up. Look up patents, all right, or look up not patents. Look up 501c3 organization search, all right, and in there just type in IUIC, and there's a couple of different searches. Use both of them, and you'll come across two, one in Phoenix and one somewhere else. And guess what? That means if they're in that database, that they're a 501c3 organization, okay, which means that they've been compromised, and they can't say certain things, and they have to say certain things. And the devil's in their pockets. Okay, there you go. So let's go from, oops, this is for the other lesson, right? But that's perfect. That's perfect that we got that one. But yeah, man, another one about false prophets. So if you want to watch that one, we can continue over. That's dealing with the Christians. I accidentally crossed into the Christian territory, and it worked perfectly because, that's for today's 7 biblical teachings that Christians love to hate or ignore. I accidentally crossed over into it. So, Salakio, I still got everything for 2 Peter, Titus 1:10. Yeah, everything's good. So, I accidentally crossed over. This was the dividing point. Yeah, I accidentally crossed over, and it worked perfectly fine because, that's what they are. They're a Christian group. All right, that's what they really are. They're not a Hebrew Israelite group. They say they are, but I don't see many Hebrew Israelites unified in Christ. All right, I see the Church of Latter-day Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints, Church of Christ. All right, all these other ones, but I don't really see many Hebrew Israelites in Christ. Okay, usually they're with Yahweh or Yeshua or any of these other names. All right, but usually not Christ. But you guys are with the Christ one. Why? Why is that? Why is that? Especially when you have videos of you going into the name Yahawashi, Bishop Nathaniel. What is that all about? You got the money. Okay, you got the money, and you forgot what the real purpose was. You forgot your father's work and started doing the devil's work instead, man. So these guys, they're just they're a bunch of reprobate demon devils. All right, that are just more worried about money, and they're just letting anybody teach. They're not vetting them. They're just letting them teach whatever the fuck they want. I don't even know what the next thing is. I wouldn't be surprised if they allow homosexuals in IUIC. I mean, and I'm just being facetious, but at the same time, apparently now you gotta put away Israelite kids. But there's so much crazy shit going on with the IUIC. I don't even remember what the last crazy thing they said was. It was like a couple weeks ago. It was some crazy shit. It was like they were teaching a different name. What was it? They're teaching the name. Was it Yahweh now? Let me go and see. There was a lesson that was made. Yeah. IUIC now teaches the name of the Lord is Yahweh. So that's there you go. So I couldn't even keep up with it. And what was that? That was 13 days. So like 2 weeks ago almost. But so, yeah, man, I can't even keep up with all of it. It's I wouldn't be surprised if the next thing is like, oh, if you're gay but you don't, this or that, you're fine. I don't know. You already got the women allowed in there, and the women making videos and the rap songs, and you already got them like selling things on the IUIC website you can go to and you can look at it, and they're selling merchandise. And like I said, I really can't be surprised. All right, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but I'm just saying if something happened with homosexuals and being allowed in, because Esau said they have to now, then I'm sure they would do it. All right, if it touched their money, they'd have to do it. If Esau said, you got to do this now, all the other churches are doing it, you have to do it. I'm sure Bishop Nathaniel would fight for about, maybe a couple days or so, but once they said, we'll take your money away, now, okay. You'd have some new doctrine coming up. And you think I'm joking? I'm not. I'm dead serious about that. Because if it touched their money, they'll do it. They'll do it because that's all these guys care about is money. Okay, that's why they're doing these things. That's what 501c3. And they every other week is like an ass cover show. All right, they'll say something, then they'll change what they said, and they'll get something else, and they'll do something else, and they'll say no, well this and that. Man, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, it's just if you want to waste your time, go to the IUIC. But that's the lesson. All right, Lord what was edifying. We're going to close out there. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High and His Son and the true names, unlike IUIC. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith, stay the hell away from the IUIC. Until the next one, Lord willing, Shalom.